Yeah, just about the Antichrist. The word in Arabic is from Dajjala. It means to smear a camel with tar. In other words, covering the whole body with tar. Smearing the part that is mangy or scabies. So it has the idea of hiding illness or sickness, covering it over, right? Covering it over with a black pitch.
Don't blame the fish. There are other things, but they mostly involve genocide.
Cover the land with water. He put his land into a right or proper state, prepared it, improved it with dung. So to spread dung on the earth, to spread feces on the earth. Dajjal, dung for manuring land. And then Dajjal is refuse, lowest, basest, or meanest sort of people. The lowest, basest, or meanest sort of people. Dajjal.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. I am going to show you some proofs that Illuminati gathering is here, and the Dajjal Antichrist. I woke up and went inside here and killed a fly at mirror. This does nothing. And fly magic magicians witching. I have lived in years and years and years. How they do it with frequency. No, he's hiding only that one because the slaves of this Dajjal, as you hear, controlled them with frequency. Once it was hundreds inside there, and acting like controlled, stinging like controlled. All my feet was full of scars, sores. At the basement, suddenly, thousands and thousands of them. I have it on my channel. In front of my balcony, suddenly, fly swans, all kind of different kinds. Tiny mosquitoes. It's like they are made in lab. I don't remember those from my youth. Enough of it. I try to tell you, this is like Lord of the Flies. That's what they want me to believe. And all those is controlled from here. All flying monkeys with dogs and cats. This is the Dajjal army. Obey this shit face. I'm going to show you the proofs. Let me show you a couple of them. Two tiny flies. Lab mate. Look, it's like ashes. And I kick the other type, tiny, and I kill it. Blood comes out, bites like mosquito, and spreading all kind of sickness. It says, no, I am constipated because of feces spreading at channels I have on my channel, video channel. We get it in our lungs while we are sleeping. It is done at night and always constipated when it's done. They want to play with my stomach because he wants to play with my immunity. My immunity goes from my stomach. Many people here at our apartment was under attack and died. I have all in my channel, but it's in Turkish. You need to translate it. How they bring those gases to my room. It's on Illuminati game cards too. Air magic, earth magic. The channels under the soil and apartment and wind direction. It never fails. If I am constipated, there's feces around. If not, I'm not constipated. And all his army and followers, this one behind me too, they are always like this. They are on the left side of you, the right side, behind, in front, as it is in Quran, attacking with this shit. And all of them is hoarding cats and dogs because they use their feces and parasites, zoonosis. Believe me when I say Corona is made by those demon worshippers, and all of that is controlled with technology. They want you to believe that Antichrist Dajjal has come. The major weapon is those animals, feces. 666 rise to beast is that Lord of the Flies rise, those pets, stray animals, and they control them like puppets. I have it on my channel too. You need to watch that. And this drag queen, leader of those around here, controls his flying monkey army like he controls those pets and flies. Look at this tiny thing. It's like mosquito, but it is not so tiny. Place it there. He wants to put my face on video, so his army sees it. I discovered this shit years ago, and always have this fly killer. They always fill it with dead flies. Here is my channel, and my screen is not good because this hacker behind me have done something hearing me, I have to start again. Like you see here, I have many videos. There is one, they are gone with other proofs, but this one is started 2014, and always the covers expose these demons. We go to new. All the covers you see here, some I have changed, but it's mostly music videos. This is the shit face. This is the dog hearing me, the recording, and everywhere you see me picking up those feces and their animals. Every cover is God chosen. I have never chosen it. Many covers here while I picking up them like this, and their minions with dogs outside my window always comes like this. Names, poem, Orhon's poem. At once I show me here. Every time. Those are the army Hamza Yusuf tells about in his video, Lowest of the Low. Now he is keeping clean here, hiding on those vehicles, big vehicles, I believe sense frequency. We have one across here, and there park just across us before here. Since start, only job is parking. Look, I opened window and the major made a speech, don't bring dogs here because they poop. That's harm our children. We got this big garbage satanist. Just like I told you at once, like in the Orhon's poem, have to show herself always around. And Orhon Major told them, don't bring dogs here. This name, Orhon, was while Ottomans had their empire and commit their comic books, caricatures to make him look bad, and nations went against him. The rest is history. Search Orhan Seyfi Orhon if you find his Orhon's poem. Talk just about this method. At once you show your face, it's about a cat, the cat turns to lion with burning eyes and catch you alive. So you want a research, and they are going to bring you down from top into the hole. Those people controls or justice makers and made law to spread this shit. Nobody can touch their animals. Where is she now? Not here. It was because I showed my face. Never fails. Those people will spread corona because when corona was on, everybody had to be in their apartments inside. Those demonic satanists with animals was around here all the time with police escort. Look how many cougars with that. This is their poo. I call it Orhon's poo. And I'm going to put Hamza Yusuf's clip here so you can see what the Dajjalism is, how they do it. And I have researched Nostradamus too. He talks about some look. He's gonna show it to me, and this, because I came here, it's controlled by the demon himself. I'm gonna put it at the end so you see this feces thing. It's Dajjalism, and this Wicca is controlled by Whore of Babylon, his mom. I have lived army of them, different faces, 10,000, male and female, with dogs. Every time I show myself, those at lawmaking department and advocates all defense this thing. It's on Nostradamus. The name mentioned very near this queen of witches name, and hairs of Romulus. I know they are Romans. Or health minister defends them. They are there too. Professors defends them, knowing zoonosis. Doctors, nurses defends them. Majors defends them, which is in their party that Orhan Seyfi Orhan was in. They call it Atatürk party, but that's Orhan Seyfi Orhan. There is back then. They control media too. They also vomit those animals. Fitna. And Hamza Yusuf speaks about in forbidden, seeing in 2D, 2 dimensions. Those flies does it. The comic books and media does it. Maybe he also does it. Because I have seen one eye on him turning to anything anybody has seen before. So I make this post it now. Later maybe I make more details. Better video. But this is Dajjal thing.
It's about the Antichrist. The word in Arabic is from Dajjala. It means to smear a camel with tar. In other words, covering the whole body with tar. Smearing the part that is mangy or scabies. So it has the idea of hiding illness or sickness, covering it over, right? Covering it over with a black pitch.
Blame the fish. There are other things, but they mostly involve genocide.
Cover the land with water. He put his land into a right or proper state, prepared it, improved it with dung. So to spread dung on the earth. To spread feces on the earth. Dajjal, dung from manuring land. And then Dajjal is refuse, lowest, basest, or meanest sort of people. The lowest, basest, or meanest sort of people. Dajjal. Another a major sign is the Dajjal. Now I just want to read because I think it's very interesting. This was written in the last century, but it's taken out of classical Arabic books. Yeah, this is about the Antichrist. The word in Arabic is from Dajjala. It means to smear a camel with tar. In other words, covering the whole body with tar. Smearing the part that is mangy or scabies. So it has the idea of hiding illness or sickness, covering it over, right? Covering it over with a black pitch. To lie. To conceal truth with falsehood. Concealing the truth. He enchanted or fascinated. So the idea that the Antichrist is an enchanter or a fascinator. People are fascinated by him. He compressed. He traversed the regions or tracts of the earth or land. Now, the Prophet said that the Dajjal would enter every city on the planet. When they asked him what would his speed be like, he said like a wind that leaves a cloud in its trail. كَرِيحٍ اسْتَدْبَرَتْهُ السَّحَابِ. Literally means like a wind that leaves a cloud in its trail. And in another tradition, he said he would ride a white donkey made of iron whose span between his 2 ears was 40 cubits. بَغْلَةٌ مِّنْ حَدِيد, as the hadith says. And then he says, to confuse, to mix things, having one eye. The Prophet Muhammad, did you have a question?
How do you spell it? What's for
Dajjal. Dajjal is the word in Arabic for Antichrist, which is better translated by the Arabs in the Arabic language as the imposter Christ. Oh, Christ, yeah, Masih al-Dajjal, the false Messiah. Very much so.
In Islam, the concept of the Messiah is a one-time thing represented by Jesus of Nazareth. Or
Yeah, Jesus is seen as the Messiah.
the Messiah. So this is an anti.
This is going to be anti-Jesus,
Christ.
yes.
Okay.
And it's interesting because if you study the Islamic Jesus, I think it gives you a very good picture of the idea of an anti-Jesus. Because anti in Greek, antis also means in place of, instead of. It doesn't really mean against. The original meaning of anti in Greek as a prefix means instead of. And that's closer to the Arabic interpretation, which is imposter or in place of, pretending to be. The Islamic Jesus, and I actually translate, I'm hoping to get it out this year, but I translate all of the Arabic sayings of Jesus, because there's actually more sayings in the Islamic tradition of Jesus than there are in the New Testament. And most of them deal with the dangers of the world, of materialism. So I find it really interesting that, this idea of an imposter, that Jesus is, the whole thrust of the Islamic Jesus is salvation through giving up material wants. And the idea of an antichrist is salvation through desire of material goods, that it is material goods that will make you happy. It is material goods that will save you. So I think there's a very materialistic element in here. And also the idea of being one-eyed is that part of binocular vision is depth perception. which you lose with one eye. And so the idea that that the Dajjal or the Antichrist does not have a depth perception. He's a two-dimensional being. He sees things in two dimensions. And some of the Muslim scholars do not consider it an individual, but most do. And some, and you'll see it as we go on here. Having one eye is one of them. Also to gild a thing. So in other words, you take lead, you put gold over it. That's Dajjal. So to make something that's cheap or insignificant look very worthwhile or significant. Cover the land with water. He put his land into a right or proper state, prepared it, improved it with dung. So to spread dung on the earth. To spread feces on the earth. Dajjal, dung for manuring land. And then Dajjal is refuse, lowest, basest, or meanest sort of people. The lowest, basest, or meanest sort of people. Dajjal, a gilder, a liar, conceals truth with falsehood, who deceives, deludes, beguiles, circumvents, outwits, much or often, very deceitful, the great deceiver. And then a great company of men, Dajjala in Arabic means a great company of men journeying together, covering the ground by their multitude, or a company of men journeying together, carrying goods for sale. Right, so trafficking goods all over the place. Masih al-Kadhab, the false Christ or Antichrist, is to be a certain man, right? Comes forth in the last days. So having one eye or eyebrow. So you get the idea there. This is classical, coming out of classical dictionaries. The idea of the Antichrist is that towards the end there will be a type of false salvation through love of the world and material things and these things. And I think the Muslims definitely have a very strong sense of the Dajjal, because at the end of the prayer, you actually make a prayer that says, and I seek refuge from the tribulation of the Dajjal in the last period. And the Prophet Muhammad said, every prophet has warned his people about the Dajjal, but I will tell you something that no other prophet told his people. He only has one eye. So that was the tradition that he said about the Dajjal, that he would have one eye. And there's a very interesting, some of the Muslims said, the television is like a Dajjal, it's a one-eyed type beast. There's an interesting section in Lewis Mumford's, the second volume of his work on the Mega Machine, which is the one eye of Re, the all-seeing eye of Re. And he talks about that the Mega Machine, one of the things about the Mega Machine, he said traditionally, was that they didn't have an all-seeing power, these previous kings and rulers. And so he said what's happening though is that, and he wrote this in 1961, he said, in the near future, we have theoretically at our hands a machine that will able to monitor all of our life, which is the computer. And he said that, and this is what Foucault called the panoptic society, the all-seeing society. And it was designed after the idea of a prison system that Jeremy Bentham designed, which was where you had a center piece, utilitarianism. You had this center, you only needed one guard. And around the guard were all the prison cells. So in the middle was a tower at which this one guard could watch everything at one time. And so the idea of the all-seeing, the state apparatus in which we're all monitored. A really interesting book about this subject is called I can see the cover because it's got that pyramid with the eye on it. It's The Naked Consumer. Very interesting book about how we're watched. A lot of people don't know this, but when you buy things with your credit cards, they go under biodatas, and so they can work out. Like I started getting all this stuff about like different types of books. I'd get these like things from spiritual book companies and things, because they worked out, you buy them and then they sell, they do biodata on you, find out what type of books you like to read, and then they sell that list to people. When we had a baby, the first child, then like a week later we got all these things about, and my wife was like, wow, what? This is a classic problem with religion, right? It's a sign, right? No, there's somebody that monitors for the corporations all the births in the county, and they sell your address to people, right? It wasn't a sign, right? Or it was a sign that we're in big trouble, right? Where everything's being watched by these. So the idea just of, this kind of panoptic culture where, and the interesting thing now is this idea of computers with the actual camera on it. Very interesting phenomenon, because who else can watch, right? Who else can watch while you're having your conversations and things like that? So there is an idea of this, the Antichrist and the end. And most Muslims do believe in a second coming of Jesus. The vast majority of Muslims. There are many hadiths that confirm it's not actually mentioned directly in the Quran, but most Muslims do believe in a second coming of Christ towards the end of time. Mm-hmm.
Well, would that sort of like mean that Muhammad wasn't still in the process of Jesus?
Good point. And that was something that the scholars did deal with. He will not come back as a prophet, bringing a Sharia. According to the Muslims, he actually comes back and he confirms the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad. That's how the Muslims view it, that he comes back. The question was, wouldn't that mean that the Prophet Muhammad wasn't the seal? But It would, in the sense that the Prophet is after Jesus. The Prophet Muhammad said, there's no prophet between me and Jesus. And he said that all of the prophets are brothers. We have the same father, which is the religion of the deen of Islam, with different mothers, meaning the different shariahs or the different sacred laws.